Hello students, hope all of you are fine at your places. So today I am going to tell you the summary of the chapter Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom for class 10th. Book name is First Flight. The chapter is written by Nelson Mandela itself. He was born on 18th July 1918. Let's take the introduction of this chapter. The chapter has been taken from the book of Nelson Mandela, which is written by Nelson Mandela. The name of the book is Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom. It provides us the glimpse of Nelson Mandela's life. In this chapter, actually, Mandela has given two contradictory pictures of his own country, that is South Africa. One in which black were tortured and suffered, and the second picture was that the black were able to live their life freely. Characters, now have a look on the characters. There are four main characters in this chapter: Nelson Mandela, Jinani, Thabo Mbeki, Mr. de Klerk. Nelson Mandela was the first black president of South Africa. Jinani was the daughter of Nelson Mandela. Thabo Mbeki was the first deputy president of South Africa, and Mr. de Klerk was the second deputy president of South Africa. Now let's talk about the summary. We will discuss the summary in points so that it will be easy for you to understand the story and to remember to learn the story also. First, the inauguration of the oath ceremony. It was the day of 10th May 1994. It was sunny day. The day was very clear. On that day, oath taking ceremony got inaugurated. A large number of leaders from the whole world gathered there in the ceremony of Nelson Mandela, and the inauguration took place in the big open building of Pretoria. Pretoria is the capital of South Africa. Then it is time of swearing in ceremony of Mandela. His daughter was with him on this auspicious day. First of all, Mr. de Klerk took that oath, who was the second deputy president of South Africa. Then Mr. Thabo Mbeki, who was the first deputy president of that South Africa. And then at the last, Mr. Mandela took the oath ceremony. He pledged that he will obey the constitution and promised to make the nation free from poverty and that discrimination. Then display the military power by the South African jets. When the oath ceremony was taken by Mandela and that first deputy president and the second deputy president, then the South African jets showed their military power. The military general saluted Mandela. Then the program was followed by the national anthems. On that day, there were two national anthems. One that was sung by that was for black people, and one was for white people. Apartheid in South Africa, Nelson Mandela said that these days, the days will be the part of history where the white had formed a system of racial dominance against the black. Means there were a lot of racial dominance from the white people on black. There was discrimination on color basis, discrimination of that racial basis. Now it is a system that it is the right of all the people that they can live their life happily and respectfully. Means that there will be no that racial dominance from white people on black people. Then regret of Mandela and remembrance of freedom fighters. On that day, he was feeling very regretted because he was not able to thank the people who lost their life to find that life for the freedom from the discrimination. He was very sad on that day, but he remembered the freedom fighter as well on that day. Then goodness and the duties of a man. He said that being a white person or black person, it is not the token of goodness or superiority. One should be human to others. One should respect other. One should love other. It is the goodness of a man and the duties of a man. A man's duties towards himself, his family, his community, his country. So by love and by respect, we can do our duties very well, according to Nelson Mandela. But it is true also, we can do our duties as well with respect by giving respect to others. Then meaning of freedom by Mandela. What was the meaning of freedom by Mandela? As a kid, when he was a kid, the meaning of that freedom was different from him, because as a kid he wanted to be free, roam here and there, he want to run in the fields, and he wanted to stay out at night. This was the freedom meaning when he was a kid. But as he was growing older, he wanted the freedom of livelihood for himself, his family, his community, his people, black people. But soon he realized that it is just an illusion. His desire was that everyone should have the right to live their life with dignity, with respect. So from this chapter we came to now know that he was just a god for the black people. He finished all the discrimination, racial dominance, all type of these things, and the black people respect him a lot. So I think you understood the chapter. Read the chapter carefully, and in my next video I will discuss some questions related to this chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead. Keep reading, keep doing work. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.